Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here with Randy Meek. He's running for the independent candidate for Rush County Sheriff. As you know, we have sat down with every major political person that's running in this November 6th election, other than the parties that are already in office. So we just want to make sure that we give the same opportunity to everybody. We don't want to be one-sided. We don't want to act like we're being one-sided. We want to give everybody the opportunity to speak. And Randy, I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to come here with you and sit and tell the world your deal.
Okay. Well, first off, thank you very much for doing this and putting it out here for all the candidates. We were having a conversation before we started, and I said it's kind of an exciting time in Rush County because in November we have 3 contested local races, the commissioners, the school board, and the sheriff election. So that's a pretty exciting time for Rush County. Like you said, my name's Randy Meek. I'm running independent for Rush County Sheriff. A little bit about me. I was born and raised in Rush County. I graduated from Rushville Consolidated High School. Shortly after that, I went to Benson's University where I obtained an associate's degree in law enforcement. After college, I got hired by the Rushville Police Department in 2006 as a patrolman. So that's where I started my career, my full-time law enforcement career. At the Rushville Police Department, I held the ranks of patrolman, narcotics officer, sergeant, where I oversaw a patrol crew, lieutenant, where I oversaw the entire patrol division, and prior to leaving, I was promoted to the rank of lieutenant detective, where I oversaw all major felony investigations for the city of Rushville. In 2014, I was hired by the Rush County Sheriff's Office, and in 2015, I was promoted to the rank of detective sergeant, which is the rank I currently hold today with the Sheriff's Department. I have a website called meekforsheriff.com, and I would urge anybody to go see that. On the website, I put my resume on there. My strategy and platforms are on there. And I don't like to talk a lot about past things or what we've done in the past. I think a lot of times in any political event, people get too stuck on the past. So what I want to talk about is the strategies and platform moving forward if elected sheriff. The first thing I would do is make sure we put a team together that leads a department in progressive, moving forward thinking ways. We're going to make sure we put the right people in the right positions, not based off friendships, but based off of merit and who deserves to be in those positions. The next thing we're going to do is, a lot of people don't know this, but the Rush County Sheriff's Department has oftentimes that only one deputy is working the road by themselves. We have a way that we can fix that with current staffing by rearranging the patrol schedule. By moving one person, we can rearrange a patrol schedule and make sure that our third shifters have somebody else out with them at night. We can also mitigate the daytimes that we have only one officer out by rearranging the patrol schedule without putting any more burden on taxpayers by adding any more officers currently. We need to make sure we amp up our drug enforcement. In my past, I was a narcotics officer again for the Rushville Police Department. I was a member of the Rough Drug Task Force, and I did a prior undercover operation. From experience, I know the majority of major felony crimes occur because of drugs. So if we can proactively work drugs, then in return we're going to reduce our crime. Statistics show it, and I can tell you from experience that that's how that's going to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to make sure every new officer that we hire with the Rush County Sheriff's Office has criminal interdiction training. That just means they have a specialized training in a traffic stop to look for more, look for criminal activity, something beyond whatever the infraction stop is. We're going to make sure our 2 detectives are trained in narcotics investigations. The theory behind this is we're going to stop the drugs from getting to the point, to the house or to wherever it's going. That's the goal with the interdiction training. If it gets there, we'll use our narcotics trained detectives, our 2 detectives trained in narcotics investigations. We'll use them to buy the drugs. And again, in the end, we'll reduce our crime. With that being said, what we're going to see is we're going to see an increase in our jail. We're going to put more people in our jail, which again is going to increase our budget, and it isn't going to help us. We're going to put more people in the jail by doing that. So what we have to do is figure out a way to reduce our recidivism, our people coming back in, our reoffending people. So this is where we need to make sure we have something in place for re-entry into the society for our inmates. A lot of people hear AA and NA talk about they've got to change their people, places, and things, and that's key with any criminal going back into society. For them to be successful, we must change their people, places, and things. If elected sheriff, we're going to make sure we keep AA and NA in our jail, Alcoholics Anonymous and Narcotics Anonymous. We're going to make sure our inmates have sponsors. They're going to have that opportunity for sponsors in the jail through that. Those sponsors can help them find apartments, Again, we got to change people, places, and things. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to, on a model inmate, I'm not talking an inmate that comes in and causes a problem for our jail staff, but on a model inmate, we're going to work with them on resume building, home finding, job finding. There's plenty of jobs out there for people that want to work right now. There's plenty of places for people to work. If we can help our inmates re-enter and have a job to go to, an apartment to go to, and again, we change our people, places, and things, we hopefully will reduce our recidivism, which in return will reduce our budget. If we continually put the same people back in our jail, we're not doing them any good, we're not doing our community any good, and we're not doing taxpayers any good. So we have to make sure that we have a reentry program in place. There's a lot of agencies that are doing it. Dearborn County is doing what's called the JCAP program right now. It's been very successful. So I'd like to work with creating a reentry program for inmates that are about to reenter society to try to reduce our recidivism and our reoffending. We're going to make sure our jailers, we're going to increase training for our jail officers. That's a dangerous environment, and we are fortunate to have very good jail officers. But we're going to make sure we increase the training, and we're going to make sure we professionally develop them as we're about to move into a new facility. We need to make sure that everybody's on the same page and we have a little more structure and we standardize a little more of their profession. The key is, for the next sheriff, is we've got to make sure our feet are on the ground running prior to moving into the new jail. If we don't, we're not going to be successful. The next thing I want to talk about is budget. The budget is going to be a challenge for the next sheriff in general. One of the things I've ran on as I've talked about strategy and platform is my personal finances are in line. I'm a small business owner, and I have to manage the budget on that. The government budget is a different animal for anybody who comes into it, and we're going to have to work collectively together to make the decisions coming forward. So being budget oriented is going to be key for the next sheriff in this race. That's just some of the strategies and platforms I've laid out going forward. I'd like to talk about some of the problems we're going to face, because I think that if you aren't preparing for the problems that you're going to face, then your feet aren't on the ground running. So in 2019, again, we're building a new jail, a multi-million-dollar facility that it's been decades coming that we were going to do. So we're going to have to, the next sheriff is going to have to oversee the completion of this multi-million-dollar facility. At the same time, the next sheriff is going to have to hire 2 to 3 new deputies to replace retirees. Again, we're not replacing short-term, we're replacing a lot of experience to walk out that door. So we're going to replace 2 to 3 new deputies. We're going to have to hire new jailers to work in the new jail as it comes in. We're going to have to hire a new administrative assistant after she's going to retire after over 30 years of service to our community. And we're going to figure a budget for a 3 times bigger jail that we've never stepped foot in 2019 for 2020. So a brand new sheriff in his first term, along with an administrative assistant, brand new, will write a budget for 2020 for a brand new facility that we have never stepped foot in. As I've done my research, I've found the Perry County Jail is decently new. It's almost identical size to the new jail that we're building, and Perry County has almost an identical population to our community. I will use their budget based off of electric usage, medical usage, things like that, base our budget off that if elected. I think it's important as we go into this, we are facing challenging times that the Sheriff's Department hasn't seen in decades. Again, with the building of a new jail, hiring of multiple new deputies to replace retirees. I think it's important in this election here that we make sure we put somebody in there with experience. Again, that's one of the reasons I'm running for Rush County Sheriff. I believe I have the experience in the profession of the last roughly 10 years of my career has been in some kind of role of being a supervisor, whether that was patrol, whether that was investigations. I have been in some role of being a supervisor. And again, along with being a small business owner, I understand the importance of managing a budget, and I will assure you that if elected sheriff, your tax dollars will be accounted for and well spent. And again, my website is meekforsheriff.com, and my email's on there. Strategies and platforms are on there. I've got some endorsements on there. And if anybody has any questions, I'm on Facebook, my email's on there, and I'll gladly answer any questions anybody has. But Dob, if you got any questions for me, I'll answer.
One statement I really want to make is you were talking about kind of the re-entry program for those inmates that are going back into community, be it community corrections or anything like that. I know there's quite a few programs out there right now that they're doing a great job, and I think that's one of the highlights that we've heard. Kind of, no matter if it's in the sheriff race or a county commissioner race or school board, even anything like that, right now in Rush County, the re-entry program to come out of jail, going back into everyday living, it's huge, and there's a lot of positive things happening right now. I think that you hitting that's gonna see a lot of those guys' eyes, or females, guys, girls, everything. There's a good opportunity there for everybody.
Going along with what you're saying is, yeah, there's a lot of great programs going on now, and everybody's doing a great job at that. But if you look at majority of our criminals that come into our jail is a drug-related offense. So while they're in the jail, we get them clean, and like I said, that's where we start working on. Once we get them clean, then we start working on the mind, and thankfully we have some providers coming in to help with that as well. So that's the time to start writing the path, I guess, making sure we try to reduce them coming back in. Because ultimately, sheriff, judge, prosecutor, we all want to see successful people. We don't want to see people reoffending, and we want to all do our parts to make sure we keep that from happening.
Right, and I think it's the same thing as the community. As a community member, your goal is or I should say, if you're seeing people go back into jail repeatedly, we as a community are not helping those people out, and you don't want to arrest more people. I mean, that at least live in Rush County, Rushville, Rush County. I mean, you don't want to do that. So yeah, you're going to be seeing your friends, people you graduated with, high school with, people that you're going to see at Kroger here, doing small business and whatnot. And if we're not helping everybody out or each other out, there's really no hope for anybody.
Well, and most of these people are really good people. I mean, you very rarely in this job deal with bad people. You deal with people who make bad decisions. Yep. And the thing is, we got to make sure we write that path. And drugs are. We've heard the stories of how people got addicted to drugs and stuff like that. And it just holds. It's got a grasp on them, and we got to make sure we at least give them the opportunity to better themselves. And that's why I really like a jail reentry program as an option for that. So we're giving them the opportunity to make the decision themselves to stay clean.
Absolutely. Well, Randy, I've known you now for probably 12 or 13 years. With my experience on being an intern for the police department when you were there, and just like I told Alan, you're a great candidate. I think it's awesome you're running. Best of luck to you, and I appreciate again you taking the time to sit in front of an unprofessional camera.
No problem.
Thanks, Randy.
Right, thank you.
Best of luck.